Whether you're stepping on the rear, you're stepping on the front. They're built to handle weight. Give me a second to catch my breath. Lifted 6-passenger club car onwards. They look slick, they look aggressive, they demand attention, and they are great for hauling the family or friends around. But that lifted height is not doing your knees or your passengers any favors. With a floorboard sitting 19 inches off the ground, it can be difficult for kids and grandparents and most human beings to just simply step up into the cart. That is why we built these guys. These are our XL TrailSteps, built specifically for the 6-passenger lifted club car onward. What they are full-length running board steps with tons of placement for your feet to step up into your cart. But what they do is they make stepping up into your cart a lot easier. So you go from a 19-inch step down to an 11-inch step. So if you're like me and you're getting old and you make old man grunts every time you do something difficult, so you're like, making a grunt like that and not even knowing you do it. My wife tells me I do this. Now, instead of making an old man grunt every time you get into your cart, you can just hop up into your cart real fast and go. And the best part about these trail steps, besides their function, is that they bolt to the frame extremely simply and easily in under a half an hour. There's no hole drilling, there's no cutting, there's no welding. We provide you with 3 mounts per step and the hardware that bolts to the frame with just a couple wrenches and sockets. Doesn't take a genius to do it, and it's literally under maybe a half an hour. You can bolt both sides on. So if this sounds like something your cart needs to help your kids, your grandparents, or yourself step up into your lifted 6-passenger club car onward, then stay tuned into the video because I'm going to show you what makes these steps special, and then I'm gonna take you step by step on how to install the steps later in the video. Now, before I get into these beautiful trail steps, I gotta tell you where you can go to buy them. You can click on the link in the description below here on YouTube. It'll take you straight to the page to buy the trail steps, or you go to bacarts.com, click accessory store, click on the club car icon, and then you will find the XL TrailSteps as well as our other accessories we make for the club car onward. But before we get into the installation, I gotta preach to you real fast on what makes these special. So first and foremost is quality. We are focused so hardcore on quality here at BA Carts. These steps are designed, fabricated right here in Van Wert, Ohio. You can feel pretty good knowing when you're investing these that you're not investing in something that you're gonna end up having to take off your cart or throw away a year from now. That's not what we're doing here. We're making products that can take abuse, take a beating, that's gonna last as long as your club car will, and club cars last forever. So another key sales point about our trail steps is that we designed them to be a full-length running board step instead of these hokey, chintzy, small little steps that you have to focus really hard on to step on. That's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make steps that are really easy to step on. So these are 52 inches long, and what that means is it's really simple to step up onto them. Because when you're stepping up into your cart and you're getting off and stuff, you're stepping in multiple directions and changing how I'm stepping now is different than how I'm gonna step into the cart. And having all that surface area to step on and not be worried about where you're stepping exactly. And then on that same subject, while I'll bring it in a little closer here, you'll see that they're textured and slotted. And why that's important is they grip your feet a little better. So if you've got some slippery shoes on, if it's rainy outside, it's wet outside, and you're stepping up on here, you know, you're not just slipping off. It's not like gloss powder coat that's really simple to, and once it's wet, it's really slippery. Whether you're stepping on the rear, you're stepping on the front. They're built to handle weight. Give me a second to catch my breath. They're not some glamour product. They're not something just that bolts on, and because they're so easy to bolt on, they're weak. It's not how these are designed. They're built to handle real weight. So whether you're concerned about the weight holding you or not, whether you're concerned about both adults stepping down at the same time, not a problem. We designed these to hold some real weight so you can feel comfortable knowing if you invest in these that they're not gonna bend on you. With that being said, let's get into the step-by-step installation. So when you open your package, you are going to see the following. Besides the tools, you're going to have a left step, a right step. You're gonna have mounts, 3 mounts. 3 of them are labeled D for driver, D, D, D. And 3 are labeled P for passenger. Passenger, P, P, all that. How you know what step is driver or passenger is our logo is always in the rear. So it's on the rear of the cart. So meaning our logo's right here. So that would mean the rear of the cart's that way. So, and our logo's here. So that means this is the passenger side, right side mount. So step. So that means this is backwards. All right, so when you take everything out of the box, oh, you're also gonna have hardware. You will have 12 1-inch short bolts with washers and nuts, 5/16 bolts. Then you'll have another baggie with U-bolts and longer bolts. And what the tools you will need will be 1/2-inch socket, 1/2-inch wrench. If you want to, you don't want to use power tools, you can use 2 1/2-inch wrenches. Then you will need a 9/16 wrench or a 9/16 socket, either one. And that is literally it. So to start this install, we're gonna do the passenger side first, show you step by step how to do that, and then we'll jump to the driver's side as well and fly through that part. So, but the first step is to take our big U-bolt front mount, labeled P. And we're going to take U-bolt. The U-bolt, well, there'll be 2 washers and 2 9/16 nuts with this U-bolt. We're gonna take my 9/16 socket. You don't have to jack your cart up like we did with the jack, but we did just for the sake of the video to make it a little more easy to film. So we take our U-bolt, take your washers and nuts off the U-bolt. You're gonna see a slit right here, a pocket right here in the frame, between the plastic and the frame. And you're gonna drop this U-bolt right down there. That's exactly where the U-bolt goes. Then, I'm gonna take my passenger mount and take a washer and nut. And I'm gonna slide this mount over that U-bolt and finger start this. Then take my 9/16 socket or wrench, whatever one you want to do. And I'm gonna tighten both sides up of the U-bolt and try to keep them as even as possible. And what I want to do is I want it to kind of be flat against the frame. And that's not what I want to be able to have some play with it where I can drag it back and forth and things, because it'll help us when we're installing the steps. It'll help us a lot when this has a little bit of play on it. So that might be a little too loose. There we go. So it's got some play to it, and that's all that needs to be. It doesn't need to be done up really hard yet. We will mount it down really firmly once the installation's done. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. So, all right, so then I'm gonna grab my other passenger mounts. Passenger, and I will need 1 of the long bolts, 3/8 bolts with a washer. These are carriage bolts. And I'll need a washer and nut with that as well. And we're gonna go under here. This bolt, not this one that's higher up in the frame. This one comes off. This is a 9/16 socket. So we take, and you don't need a wrench on the backside because this is a carriage bolt. So take that nut out. If you need to, if it's kind of snug in there like this one is, you might need a mallet. So I apologize if I already screwed up and told you something, did not tell you something you might need. You might need a mallet, and you might even help you too if you need a panel popper as well. If you can't get that bolt out, you might need like a flathead screwdriver or panel popper to pull this carriage bolt through, just like so. So you'll pull this black one out, and this has a nut with it. You do not need this black bolt anymore. You will not need it. So set that to the side. Take your long carriage bolt provided in the hardware with the steps and slide this through. Again, if it's giving you a rough time, hit that through. It's a carriage bolt, so you gotta make sure the square is lined up inside the square hole in the backside. And this one slid in perfectly, so we're good to go. Then, very important part of the step is which passenger side mount you need. So, you will see that we have This passenger side mount has this little tab welded on the back side. The one with the tab welded on the back side like this, it has a little slit right here. This is the rear. So the one with nothing welded on the back side does not have a tab at all. And the brake, because it makes sense to use as well, the brake's going this way for the middle mount. This brake's going the opposite way for the rear mount. So this is our passenger mount. Another one to notice too is this has a little drop down right here where it drops right like that. The rear one doesn't drop at all. This just goes right to the top, flush to the top. This one doesn't go down flush, it goes up and over. So we take our passenger mount, slide it over the hole. Take our washer nut. Then we kind of get it snug first, and then we want to make sure we're pushing up. And then one thing we really want to make sure of is we are keeping this mount as square as possible on the frame. And the cart's at an angle right now because we jacked it up. But what we want to do is make sure this step is perfectly up and down vertically. And it looks pretty dang close, so I'm going to tighten that one down really well. Now, if we get to the point where we're installing the step on the mounts and we notice like this is kind of cockeyed, we can loosen that a little bit and move it. But for now, it looks pretty dang close to being square, perfectly up and down. So we're gonna roll with that how it is now. Then we jump back to this one. Again, don't worry about this lower bolt, the black one on the frame, that's the bottom. That one does not get touched. The next one we touch is this one right here. This is the longer carriage bolt in here that's already in the frame. We're gonna take a 9/16 socket, just like the other ones. And this one slid out a lot easier on. So leave that carriage bolt in there. And we take our passenger rear mount. Put the washer right back over. Put the nut right back on. Now, one very important part about this is when I told you how there's the welded on tab, we want to make sure that this welded on tab is tucked up inside of this corner as tightly as possible. So as I'm going to tighten this down, I want to make sure that I'm like pushing the step up into that corner as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to tighten this down. We want to make sure it looks pretty dang square, and we want to make sure that that's tucked up in there, pushed up and against the frame as much as possible. I'm tightening it down, and now it's good to go. That's all tight. Mounts are almost fully installed. These two are good. Those are strong. As long as they're perfectly vertical, square, those are ready to go. But that's how literally easy it is to install the mounts. Now, one thing to look at is you will see, if you look down this line here, you'll see how much these are hanging out. And if you look, it looks like the front mount is pretty dang close to being about out as far as wide as these other mounts are. And again, there's some play there with the mount sliding back and forth, but it looks like it's pretty dang close to being in a straight line, which is what we want. So then we take our passenger step. Again, how you know it's passenger is the logo always goes towards the rear side of the cart, faces the back side of the cart. So what was that? So then we're gonna sit that in the mounts, and then we will need 6 of the 1-inch bolts with washers and nuts. Then we will also need our 1/2-inch socket and 1/2-inch wrench. So we will sit this on up here. Now we want to take our bolts, and you need a nut, and then you need 2 washers. And we're gonna finger tighten all these through the mounting holes. Is take my 1/2-inch socket and wrench, and I want to snug this front mount on this step, just barely, nothing crazy. And this might be where it's better to use 2 wrenches if you want. I just want the mount to be against the gusset underneath the step. So again, I'm not getting crazy. I'm leaving a little bit of play there. What I'm doing is keeping this mount square with the gusset on the step. That way I can come up here and tighten this really well down. So I'm gonna take my 9/16 socket and I'm gonna mount this U-bolt up really well now. And I'm not just tightening one side, I'm going back and forth and making sure I'm seeing just as many threads on the left side as I am the right side. And that should be pretty dang good. It looks pretty dang square to me. The same amount of threads on both sides. So that one's good. And one thing we want to check now is we leave this mounts, the holes are slotted in the mounts underneath the step. That way there's some adjustability, if that's even a word. You can adjust the step forward and backwards, or I guess technically left or right. So we want to make sure the step is square with the cart, which it looks like it needs to go in a fuzz like that. So now that that's square with the cart, we take our 1/2" socket and wrench and we go down and we tighten all these down. It's good to go. Then these were never fully tightened, so we're gonna fully tighten these now. That is how simple it is to install a XL TrailStep on a club car. So now we can sit her down and test her out. So that's how simple that is. Now let's go install the driver's side.
I ain't getting no rest cause I'm going. I ain't getting no rest cause I'm going.
And that is how you install the driver's side as well. And that, as a whole, that's how you install our XL TrailSteps on the 6-passenger lifted club car Onward. If you see something in this video that does not match up with your cart, please shoot a comment below, email us, call us. We're very easy to get a hold of. All of our contact information is on our website and in the link in the description below as well. So yeah, please let us know if you see something you don't see in this video. So, but that's truly, as you just see in this video, the installation is pretty short because they're really that simple to install. Per usual, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, again, please let us know. If you want to see more products of ours, how we do installation videos, how we show you the products, how we make them, please subscribe to the channel. We're coming out with a lot more products and a lot more videos. I can tell you that right now. So thank you for watching and thank you for always supporting BA Carts.
No rest cause I'm going. I ain't getting no rest cause I'm